Today, I want to discuss something which I think anybody who's been in the real estate business actively or investing passively will appreciate. I needed to ask myself a very simple question: which deals still make sense to buy in today's environment, at least till the reality changes? And I came up with three directions which I think are not only available but also make a lot of sense to focus on. And it really depends on your risk tolerance and preference, which of those directions best fit your needs. The number one, which I think is going to be very attractive to a lot of investors, is going a bit more for safety. So rather than focusing on aggressive, wealth creating focused deals, we just focus on cash flow. And if a cash flows today and has a healthy cash flow, and it seems to be going so for the foreseeable future, and has some upside but not much upside, so that creates an interesting play where I'm okay. It's safe, doesn't have the upside, but the risk is not there, and that's what I'm looking for in these uncertain environments. To find those, we have to step out of the primary and very hot markets where things are still to some level priced a bit out of reach, where it makes sense today. And you have to go to secondary, tertiary markets, and even in those, I would be very careful in making sure that these are secure type of leases. And what I'm thinking is either completely out of multifamily, which I'm used to, and that would be local, what they call recession-proof type of tenants in retail mall strips, such as reputable groceries, pharmacies, banks, triple net leases, and sometimes these have value add where you can get back your money in about 3 or so years, depending where the market's at, but it's possible. The next type, which is my favorite, is, and I think there'll be a lot more of those deals coming as the next month or two come, and those are strategic plays. So you focus on prime real estate and prime markets. You buy them for a price that just a half a year ago would have been impossible, and in general, just getting that piece of real estate would have been very, very competitive. And you're just getting it at a good basis. You're not going to get the cash flow because the cost of capital, the mortgage, and the leverage that you're getting are just going to be against you. But the idea is that if you believe that the market's going to at some point stabilize, you'll be locked in a solid deal which will pay you very well. And the third, which technically applies to the previous two, but is just generally sometimes that comes along in the flow of deals, where someone who is looking at a deal very differently than anybody else. He comes with creativity. So it's valued at what it is today, but you seeing the property's potential in a completely different picture, you repurpose it, you turn it into something else, the tenant basis that's there, you completely change. Those are things that you create immense value. No matter how much negativity the market throws at you, to a certain extent, you're able to not only overcome it, but also make money. And those are the three deals types that I think are going to be continuing on and transacting over the next year or so until things hopefully stabilize. And until then, I think that's going to be my focus, and I'm going to try to bring the best of those with the people who are competent in those areas and bring them to you, my investors.